Across the Mediterranean, from Portugal to Italy, Turkey to Montenegro, wildfires are burning. A heatwave gripping southern Europe has seen temperatures soaring up to 43 degrees Celsius. With strong winds whipping up fire swirls, scientists are describing it as a Molotov cocktail of climate conditions, which is fueling the flames. Across the Iberian Peninsula, emergency services are battling multiple blazes. Northern Portugal even witnessing fire tornadoes over the weekend. On Monday, firefighters in Spain worked through the night in an effort to contain a blaze burning in the municipality of Tres Cantos, close to Madrid, with at least one person dying. In the north of Spain, several houses were burnt down and hundreds had to be evacuated in the Castile and Leon regions as multiple fires creep towards the UNESCO-listed national park.
We are completely helpless and abandoned. Please, anyone, do something for us, because we are burning. We might not be a national park, but we are people. No one does anything. No one.
Farmland and warehouses have also been destroyed.
No ha quedado nada. La fauna se la ha cargado.
There's nothing left. The wildlife has been completely wiped out. Everything. All the vegetation and wildlife too. There used to be lots of wild boar, all kinds of animals, some deer. There were always deer, and this has destroyed everything.
Over the border in France, 12 départements are on red alert, the country's highest heat warning, anticipating exceptional heat stretching from the Atlantic coast to the Mediterranean plains. In Italy, firefighters continue to tackle flames on the slopes of Mount Vesuvius near Naples. To the Balkans in the east, Croatian fire crews have been battling to save hotels at the height of the tourist season in Split. Over the border in Montenegro, 41-degree heat triggered multiple wildfires, which are encroaching on coastal resorts, the capital Podgorica, and the ruins of the ancient city of Duklaja.
The situation is very dramatic. As soon as I saw the fire burning and smoke and flames coming, I started calling my relatives who live nearby to evacuate the children. At the last moment, we evacuated an old man, and 3 minutes later his house started burning. My relative's house also burned down, but the rescue operation is still ongoing.
To the south in Albania, national parks are under threat. 20 kilometres from the capital Tirana, villages in Albania are feeling hopeless as strong winds and dried vegetation from a lack of rain have created perfect conditions for the flames to spread.
We want the state to stop the fire, or the European Union to do something to help us. Without helicopters, nothing could be done here because there's no road for fire trucks to reach the mountain.
In northwestern Turkey, the Coast Guard has had to use boats to help evacuate hundreds from their homes as the flames approached.
We've never experienced anything like this before. As you can see, houses, vehicles, everything burned down. May God help us.
If this kind of extreme heat is to be the new normal, there are serious questions for governments in the region as to whether more can be done to prevent wildfires from breaking out. To discuss the situation, we're joined by Dr Akshay Deoras, a meteorologist at the University of Reading. Dr Akshay, firstly, is it unusual for so many Mediterranean countries to be experiencing wildfires simultaneously?
It's not surprising because the heat itself is so extreme and it's so widespread that you would expect many countries to come under wildfires. And this is exactly what we are seeing right now.
And aside from the heat, what are the conditions that have made this summer so bad for wildfires so far?
Well, we have seen heat comes with dry weather conditions. So we have got heat and dry weather conditions coming together. And the other thing that basically is quite important for the triggering of wildfires is wind speed. So we must have seen, a couple of gusty weather periods. So you have got dry weather conditions, high temperatures, and winds all acting together to trigger wildfires.
And can we say this is the result of climate change?
Well, climate change is increasing the frequency, intensity, and in fact, the possibility of getting heat waves. And naturally, whenever we get heat waves or dry weather conditions, that's also going to increase the chance of getting wildfires compared to, let's say, periods of storms when it's going to be raining. So in a way, climate change is definitely fueling the risk of wildfires.
And do European nations need to invest more in prevention? And if so, what can they actually do?
Absolutely, because the problem of climate change is not going to stop. Unfortunately, it's going to become worse unless and until there is a drastic cut down of greenhouse gas emissions. I think what basically is required at the moment is that we need to, like I said, cut down the emission of greenhouse gases, number one. But we also need to focus on mitigating the adverse impacts that we are seeing right now. And for wildfires and specifically for heat waves, I think it's very important that we invest, for example, talking about heat waves, we invest in cool shelters, we invest in improving, let's say, the surveillance system where we are able to understand whether people are really, getting more and more vulnerable to heat waves. That's required to be done. And for tackling wildfires, I think we just need to be in a very proactive state in which we are able to control them in a faster manner.
There are some countries which have, programs in terms of forestry management to try to make sure that wildfires can't spread. Are there any lessons that can be learned? I think Finland in particular is one country. Do Mediterranean countries need to take a lesson from them?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a good idea to take lessons from countries which are really efficient in managing wildfires. And with wildfires, I think one of the ways to tackle them is that we just need to prevent them from spreading. And for example, you could increase what we call as a forest line, in which what we are doing is we are separating the two regions of a forest so that the wildfire from one region is not able to spread into another. So all such things are required to be done because this problem is not going to end.
Dr. Akshay Deoras of the University of Reading, thank you very much.